So, let's talk about Robert Storm and his rant about the Oscars. And just in general. Um, so here's the thing. I listened to a little bit this morning and I started to do a video on it. I listened to the video by Matt Jarbo and I started to do a video on it, but I was like, you know what, let me just wait till I get home from work and I'll watch this video, from start to finish and see what this whole thing is about. So I watched the video, and here's the thing. He starts off really calm. He's talking about the Oscars, this, that, and the third. And I don't know what happened. It's like something just fucking flipped and switched. And he just started going into this tirade about how, the Oscars is woke and they care more about, other movies than movies that have like heart and passion and stuff that's real, as far as the Joker. Here's the thing. If you watch it just the first time, you just start to get into it. Or if you watch it, like let's sit there and say you watch it from somebody else, like a reaction video. I can see where there are a lot of people that are upset. Or that are just like disliking the video. There's a ton of dislikes. And I mean like a ton of dislikes. Here's the thing. Let me just back up for a second. So a couple of weeks ago, on Robert's community tab page, he asked the question of, what am I doing wrong? Why are the views so low on my videos? Now, when you read it, there is a common thing in his videos that people are snipping complaining about. Is that he's yelling and he's cursing a lot and he's just like fan raging out. And people are just like, yo, listen, nobody feels like, and then granted, there's other reasons too. Just as far as like there's certain stories that he does that a lot of the other bigger ones, the other big YouTubers that do. And so when they get to him, it's like, what's the point if I heard it from like 3 other people? So there was a lot of common things, as far as like, try to be more original and things. But the thing that I found interesting was the whole yelling and cursing and just like fan raging out. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to ask a question of what you're doing wrong and you get feedback, listen. Listen to the feedback. Don't just sit there and look at it and be like, oh, okay, whatever. Because what that video was you doing the exact opposite of what people were sitting there telling you was, telling you that you were doing wrong. Now, here's the thing. I'm not sitting there saying that what he said in this video about the Oscars, about, Parasite being one as far as, like getting 2... They pretty much won for like 2 titles. One was for a foreign film and one was for like Best Director. And his argument was like, granted his argument was like, he didn't really care so much that the Joker won. It's just that, they practically won in like both categories. And it's like, I get where he's coming from. And he has a point. But here's the thing though, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And when you start just being practically belligerent and just like yelling and screaming and shit like that, it's like, no one is going to care what you have to say when you start talking like that. And, I don't know, this is just in general. It's like, when I started listening to the comments and stuff like that, a lot of people were sitting there saying like, oh, you curse too much. And I was like, wow, I didn't think that was really a thing, but I can see where you're coming from. If you have to sit there and curse that much and it's like you're not really good at public speaking if you have to sit there and curse that many times. So one sec. I get it. I get the backlash, but I think that some people are taking it too far. There are some people that's going to say, oh, he's on this racist tirade or whatever. I don't think the guy's racist. All right? I don't think the guy's racist. I just think that he just raged out and, people don't want to sit there and tune in for that. I think that's just the basic problem with that video is not so much as what he said. It's just, like, come on, bro. Like, don't need to hear all that. And besides, here's the thing, even about the Oscars in general, who really cares about the Oscars? Just on another note, who really actually cares about the Oscars? Who actually sits there for 3 hours to sit there and watch something that I could just find out the same information on my phone? So, here's the thing, I do agree with Matt Jarbo as far as, like, the guy is getting way too much backlash for his video. But I will say something about Matt Jarbo, is that here's the thing, he kind of threw a little bit of shade at him, as far as him not being able to explain things correctly and stuff like that. It was some shit that he said, like, towards the middle of the video, and I was just like, wow, really? Like, I don't know, I kind of felt some sort of way about that. It's like, you're going to sit there and defend the guy, but then also throw shade at his videos a little bit. Like, I don't know, and I get it. There's a lot of people that can sit there and say, I throw shade at people too. But I don't consider it being shade. I consider it being held accountable. And, everyone makes mistakes. Whatever, fine, fuck it, I'm just starting out doing this. So I know that my videos are not going to be perfect as far as, like, the way I talk and the quality of the videos, all that stuff. But, again, I do it for fun. So I'm not sitting there trying to act like I'm better than other people and shit. And hell, if another YouTuber wants to sit there and come out and, say that I'm doing this or say I'm doing that or whatever, fine. Listen, it's like anything else. You put your art or whatever out there in the world, and it's going to get criticized. So, if you're not tough enough to sit there and handle that, then you probably shouldn't be doing what you're doing. And that goes for me and anyone else, I've criticized Matt Jarbo before and John Campion and stuff, so I'm not so much criticizing, well, I guess I am criticizing Robert Storm, but I'm only doing that because I do actually watch the channel and I do find the stuff, interesting and informative, and, dude seems like he's a good dude, but, it's a fine line between passionate and just, like, raging out and just going for it. And granted, I was going to make this video before. About, what he posted as far as, like, being able to improve on his channel, because he put a picture of his views going down. It was like 500 or whatever in, like, a month and stuff. I'm like, 500 is great for me, but I understand where he's coming from. But, if you're going to sit there and ask for criticism, I'm not saying you have to sit there and take everything, to heart and listen to everything, but don't ask for criticism if you're not gonna listen. Because what you did in that video is the exact problem of why there's some people that aren't watching your videos as much. I know there's a bigger, much larger problem, but there's definitely one of them. So, yeah.